Hello everyone, my name is John. Thanks for joining me on StubbleMeetsSteel. I wanted to continue the gem series and do some of my favorite gem razors out of the lineup. So this one is the Featherweight and this one is the Micromatic Clog Pruf. And this one, there are two variations that some people don't know about. This is considered the first generation. If you see, there's no parallel lines on the top cap here where the this tab here is. If I had a G-bar, my G-bar is locked in the infamous safe that's I can't open. But if you look at a G-bar, you'll see that there's parallel lines right there. That's the more super mild one. This is the first generation with no lines on the top cap there, and that's considered the best of the bunch of them. It's considered the featherweight because it's got this cool Bakelite handle. And when I was first looking at it, I was like, you know, why did they design that handle like that? It has kind of a funky shape to it, but when you shave with it, the ergos on it, there's a couple of times during the shave where the ergos are just spot on. You're like, aha, now I get it. And it just hits the mark for awesome ergos a couple of times for me. And this is the Micromatic Clog Pruf, as I mentioned. And you can tell it apart from the open comb because it has the solid safety bar and it has these huge lather channels. But one of the other big things about it is there's also two versions of this. And the easy way to tell is if you see there's these tiny little nubs here or little bumps on the safety bar. Well, if you count them, there's 17 on this one. This would be considered Gen 2. 1941 to 43, there's 12 nibs on the safety bar here. And in 1945, they came out with this version with the 17 nibs here, and it's called the Peerless. I've looked high and low, and I can't find any information as to why it's called the Peerless, but that's what they consider the one with the 17. And I looked, and both of them do have the little raised bumps in there, regardless of which style you get. And I do have both of them, and I've shaved with both. I prefer the 17 nib model. I find it a little bit smoother. So I thought this would be a fun comparison. Let's get into it. I've got Macduffs Autumn Cabin soap all lathered up in my bowl here. I dropped the brush in the bowl. Got leather all over it. So I thought it'd be fun to compare these two. And then I'd like to do whichever one I like better out of these two. I'll compare to the 1924 Ever Ready shovel head that I have. I know these aren't as popular as some of the newer razor videos that I do, but I just felt like the gem heads out there and people looking at some of these old razors might like a lot of these videos, and so I'm still going to make a few more of these. I think that while they're not quite as popular, I think that they're good information. There's a guy named Ron R on Badger and Blade, and he's got this cool chart that he made comparing all the gem razors and which ones he thinks are mild and aggressive, and I kind of use that information to buy a bunch of the ones that I have, and I'd have to agree that he's pretty spot on. So let's get started. Let's do the featherweight first. As I was mentioning in the beginning, right there on against the grain, that your fingers kind of just grab that little horn on the handle. Perfect. Awesome ergos for sure. Super smooth right there. Great smelling soap, I love it. It's like toasted maple, but it almost has like a burning leaves campfire type smell to it. Some cedar, really good. Boy, the Clog Pruf has its work cut out for it. That was a really nice pass. I'd say that maybe the Clog Pruf has a little bit more blade feel. I'm liking a little bit of extra weight though. Seems like maybe it has a little more plow through effect on the Clog Pruf. Let's go past 2 and we'll check in and see how the shave's kind of feeling. Very slick stuff, this Macduffs. Especially well hydrated like it is in the bull leather. All right, back to it, against the grain. Wow. I don't think I've ever had a bad shave with this featherweight, and it does come in a chrome. I'll grab it here for you. This is also the first gen with no lines on it. It comes with the chrome style head. It's interesting, one of them has the gold foot on it and one of them doesn't, even though they're both the lineless model. And they both shave really well. But yeah, man, this featherweight, I've only had amazing shaves with it. Really just absolutely fantastic razor. That Clog Pruf feels really good too though. These are definitely 2 of my favorites of the lineup, for sure. When I first got the Clog Pruf, I think I used it every single shave for like 2 weeks straight. I just couldn't put it down. I loved how it looked. It was just such a unique, different shave than anything else that I had ever tried. I didn't have the featherweight yet. If I remember right, I got the Clog Pruf first, and then I circled back to the featherweight. But man, if you lay this one flat on the face, it's so smooth. The featherweight is. Yeah, right there, again, just awesome ergos. Feels so good in the hand. When I first saw it, I'm like, what in the world's up with the banana-shaped handle on that one? Then when I tried it, I said, aha, I get it. Very nice. That's really smooth too. They just sound a tiny bit different and feel a tiny bit different. Hard to explain. I would say that the Clog Pruf feels like it does have a tiny bit more blade feel, and the audible feedback is a little bit different, but it's not overly aggressive by any means. It's just a tiny, tiny bit more blade feel than a Featherweight. And if you ride the top cap on it, it's definitely really smooth. Let's see how they feel against the grain. Soap smells really, really good. Super creamy and super slick. Yeah, as you can see, I love the Featherweight so much that I bought it in the other color. I wish that the chrome one had the little chrome foot on it, but I've never found one like it. Seems like all the chrome ones don't have it. Only the gold ones, and not all of them. Such a nice razor. Yeah, I've never gotten a bad shave with the Featherweight. It's just absolutely fantastic. Every time I use it, I always say, wow, what a nice razor. Clean up here. All right. Let's see how we measured up here. Both very, very close. Fantastic. All right, let me rinse off and we'll get cleaned up. I'll be right back. All right, back. Let's get some Thayer's Witch Hazel on. All right, so what did I think? Boy, that's one of the toughest calls I've ever had. I'm just gonna say it again. I'm sure it's quite obvious throughout the shave, but these are fantastic razors. Absolutely showstoppers in my personal opinion for me. This Featherweight is like the absolute perfect Goldilocks razor. It's perfectly combination of smooth but efficient enough to get it done, not overly mild, you know, where you have to make 1,000 passes, but like over on my Adam's apple, I can go over that area. Just absolutely fantastic. As I said several times, I've never had a bad shave with this thing. It's just absolutely fantastic. The featherweight for me is definitely the top 3 of the Gem lineup, no question about it. But boy, this Peerless Micromatic Clog Pruf is absolutely fantastic too. I did the open comb Micromatic the other day, yesterday. This one has the open comb teeth. You know, they look similar on the top cap. You know, this definitely has more blade feel than this. And on the other end of things, this has more blade feel than the featherweight. Not a ton, but a little bit more. But if you find that the Micromatic open comb is too much, this is definitely, the Clog Pruf is definitely a step down. It's definitely a little bit smoother, a little bit less blade feel. You know, it's kind of that perfect sweet spot. For me, this is milder and easier to use. This again over the Adam's apple. I don't have to babysit it. This requires just a tiny bit more attention, a tiny bit more blade feel. It just depends on what you like. I would consider this mild, whereas I could consider this, you know, mild edging into medium. That would be my rating there. Whereas if you were to go with this, I would definitely consider that more, you know, medium aggressive for sure to go into the open comb. So which one do I like better? Boy, that's a toss-up. It just depends on the day, honestly, but I'd have to maybe give the slight edge to the featherweight. I just absolutely love the ergos on that handle. I think the funky looking Bakelite handle just absolutely grows on me because it's just got some of the best ergos of any handle I've probably ever used. Next to my other favorite handle, the baton, the parade handle. That's my other favorite. Just fantastic ergos. No matter what position you want to hold it, it's just spot on, right on the money, great to hold on to. So for me, the featherweight wins the showdown just a tiny bit. I think the next one that I'd like to do would be the 1924 Ever Ready shovel head. I think that's a smooth razor, and I'd like to kind of compare those two. I think that's what I'm going to do next, is the featherweight versus the 1924 shovel head. I think that'll make a good showdown to the Gem Chronicles, as I'm going to call it. I'd like to just keep comparing all these gems, give people feedback looking to buy ones and tell them which generations to look for. I just think these are great razors, and I think I picked up all of these so far for, as I mentioned before, 15, 25 bucks, you know, pretty premium. If you want the ones with cases, you'll pay a little bit more, but again, very, very affordable. For my splash today, I've got Sterling's Texas on Fire. It has that kind of that burned leaves smell, campfire type smell to it. So I thought it'd pair really well with this particular soap. So I hope everybody enjoyed the Gem Chronicles video. Stay tuned, I got a few more incoming. Thanks for watching, take care.